Here I have the KA500L Voyager Emergency Radio made by Kaito. You see, you can have all the food and water and other emergency supplies, but if you don't have an emergency radio, you will be left in the dark as to what is going on out there. Because I grew up in Louisiana around hurricanes, emergency radios have always been an important lifeline. You can't depend on cell phones because the cellular towers can lose electricity and stop transmitting. During Hurricane Katrina in 2005, New Orleans was experiencing life-threatening flooding. And these types of emergency radios saved many lives. How so? Well, it was able to warn people who were listening on the radio that the local levees in New Orleans had broken, which is why so many people were rescued on the top of their roofs. Prior to purchasing this radio, I did a bunch of research because I wanted a radio that fulfilled a few of my own personal criteria. The radio needed to receive not only AM and FM and weather alerts, but also shortwave radio, which can be sent by a regular person. Also, I wanted a radio that can recharge the battery by methods other than just a power outlet, such as solar and hand crank. Also, I wanted a radio that was not too complicated to use, and this is fairly straightforward to use. And finally, I wanted a radio that was relatively inexpensive. At a price point of $59, this radio is definitely affordable. Kaito does make newer Voyager models, but after looking at a bunch of reviews, both on Facebook, YouTube, and different websites, I found that the newer models added features that I really didn't need, and they also made the radio cost over $100. So that's why I love this particular radio. It has 4 ways to receive a charge. First, it can be charged by a wall outlet. Second, there's a USB cable that can be plugged directly into a laptop's USB port. And I thought that's a handy feature in case you lose power in the middle of the night and you can't use solar in the dark, nor do you want to do a bunch of hand cranking at 2 a.m. in the morning. Third, the other charging mechanism I thought was really cool is the hand crank, which can generate electricity. Now, it's not the most convenient method, but it's a good option if all other options are unavailable. And it takes about 2 to 3 minutes of cranking to give you a few minutes of radio usage. And then the fourth way of charging is also through the solar panel. Now the manual says that it can take as many as a few days to fully charge through the solar panel if the battery is completely depleted. So in a survival situation, you would want to keep your radio in direct sunlight so it never becomes completely depleted on the battery. It catches both AM and FM broadcasts as well as from NOAA. So you can't get NOAA broadcasts on just a regular AM, FM receiver because NOAA broadcasts are on the VHF frequencies. According to weather.gov, there are 750 transmitters in the United States sending these weather alerts. And so that covers over 90% of the country. Each transmitter covers about 40 miles. So that's why you'll notice that there's 7 channel options here on the weather band. And if you want to receive NOAA alerts, you just simply switch this dial here to say NOAA alert, and now you have access to all of those 7 weather bands. Also, this radio can catch shortwave transmissions, which is from 3 megahertz to 22 megahertz. Shortwave radio transmissions could be sent from just people at home who are transmitting on a ham radio by as far as 1,000 miles away. So in a worst case scenario, if the official AM, FM, and NOAA radio network goes down, this shortwave radio can still keep you informed if someone is transmitting. You won't be able to transmit using the radio, but you can still receive the broadcast. The Kaito website says that there's also a built-in antenna for shortwave, which is not super strong, so you can extend its range by using the Kaito T1 shortwave radio antenna, which will boost your reception. And that's only about $12.95, so I recommend that you get that as well. The radio also has a nice reading light here, as well as an SOS light, and then even a regular flashlight. And what's really cool is that the back of the radio has a USB port so that it can be used to charge your cell phone, which I think that's a great feature in an emergency situation. Yep, I can plug it in. There we go. Also, I like the fact that the radio has this private port in the back for listening on a headphone. So in an emergency situation, you don't want to be playing that out loud. Also, I keep my radio in an EMP bag. So if ever there was an EMP from either a solar flare or a nuclear bomb detonating high in the atmosphere, I wouldn't have to worry about the risk of an EMP damaging electronics because they're shielded and protected in these type of EMP-proof bags. Anyway, I'm really happy with the radio. Please see the link below on this video where you can buy it, and also if you want to learn more about it. And if you do buy one, make sure you keep it with the user manual. I do recommend buying that external shortwave antenna, the ear jack that you plug into the back for private listening, and then also just getting an extra lithium battery, which is just a few dollars, so it's not that much extra. Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on this radio. Again, thank you for listening to 5Ds.